Okay, go, buddy.
Oh, life is better. Life is so much better.
I'm third generation in Skagit County.
That's a good girl.
Melissa Norris's family has raised cattle on their Skagit Valley farm for decades. And she wants to keep it that way. But she's worried proposals by the city of Seattle, 100 miles away, threaten their farm and way of life.
It makes me sad and it also makes me really angry, to be honest.
The problems for Norris and farmers like her start way upriver on the Skagit, where Seattle City Light owns and operates 3 dams, Gorge, Diablo, and Ross, that generate 20% of Seattle's electricity. To churn all that power out of the river, it's Seattle's obligation to make up for or to mitigate for the harm they're causing fish, wildlife, and the ecosystem. Under the city's last license, the strategy was to buy up land in the Skagit Valley. Seattle spent millions of dollars buying 10,000 acres of mitigation lands here, meant to improve habitat for struggling fish.
They're clearly not doing the right thing.
Dave Hullock of the Skagit Upriver Neighbors Group says they want all that land buying to stop.
Seattle City Light has been like an 800-ton gorilla with a checkbook, recklessly throwing money around. We don't feel listened to. Skagit farming groups are fighting against Seattle's mitigation ideas for a new license, including buying up parcels of their world-famous farmland and diverting portions of the river to try to improve fish habitat.
When they're talking about diverting water, that could affect you.
Absolutely.
Dave Hullock says some of the proposals would bring water toward his property and several farms, increasing the likelihood of flooding.
And so anything that increases that, we regard as dangerous. And we're opposed to it.
You're opposed to it, and yet it sounds like you don't feel like the city is listening to those concerns.
I have no confidence that Seattle City Light will listen to anything that we say.
Well, I remember when we first met with Seattle City Light, and they treated us like a couple of bumpkins just falling off a turnip truck.
The Skagit County Board of Commissioners are taking a hard line as well. Last month, they fired off this letter accusing Seattle of shutting them out of meaningful dialogue for the last 3 years.
This is our land, this is our river, this is our community, and we deserve to have our voices heard. We deserve to be part of the discussion, and if we're not part of the discussion, then it's not right.
Skagit County is very much on my radar.
Seattle City Light CEO Deborah Smith says in the 1990s, Skagit County wasn't involved in the relicensing negotiations, a problem they're working to fix this time around.
We continue to look for ways to strengthen our relationship with Skagit County commissioners, and always happy to listen to the farmers.
But tribal leaders say Seattle continues to ignore them, and they're not going to take it anymore. Here's investigator Susanna Frame.
Since 2021, the King 5 investigators have exposed the profound conflicts in relicensing talks between City Light, tribes, and other stakeholders, including the Sauk-Suatal Indian tribe and the Upper Skagit tribe. They've both accused the city of causing cultural trauma by operating their dams in a way that kills salmon, the center of their heritage and way of life. Since Seattle's last relicense, bull trout, steelhead, and Chinook salmon have all landed on the endangered species list. And in 2005, orcas, who depend on Skagit River salmon for survival, ended up as endangered as well. Nearly every other dam operation in the Northwest has mitigated for its impacts by investing in what's called fish passage, a way to move fish above and below dams, but not Seattle City Light. Their dams cut off 37% of the river to fish. None of this habitat is available for salmon to spawn and grow. And after 4 years of negotiations, the city hasn't committed to adding fish passage technology.
Our tribal friends and neighbors are requesting that the city and Seattle City Light put fish passage through the dams.
Last month, a group of Skagit Valley farmers showed up at Seattle City Hall, urging city council members to invest in fish passage, not in their land.
Let's cut the crap and leave the farmland alone and build a fish passage, please.
Thank you for your time.
We are in a really hard negotiation. Ecosystems are really tricky, they're fragile.
City Light leadership says they're still listening and responding to concerns about the river,
All right, ladies.
the people, and their long-standing farms affected by what happens to it.
Well, you guys ate everything.
Here on Skagit farmland, they hope that happens, as conditions for a new license could last 30 to 50 years, affecting people of the Skagit Valley for generations to come.
To us, it's not just a project that you're working on to get completed, and then you move on to the next job or the next problem. This is our lives.
And it's getting down to the nitty-gritty for Seattle's relicensing process. The final application is due to the federal government in April, and the city will be getting a lot of input between now and then from tribes, government agencies, and of course Skagit County before they put in that application. Now, it's clear it has been a rough process, right? A lot of people mad at each other, but the CEO, Deborah Smith, tells me that she thinks it's come a long way, that it's going pretty darn well right now, and that she feels encouraged that in the end, most people will be happy.
It's just getting to the end and when that's going to be,
Yes.
right? It's been a long process. Susanna, thanks.